There's so much conversation on social media about whether it should have stood. Was it a corner? Was it not a corner? We've had a look at it and we think that it was a corner, right?
No, I know it's a corner, 100%. You can clearly see it comes off Bissouma's foot just there. There's a little touch on it. The referee's close enough to have probably heard that nick. And they need to switch on. That's the problem. The decision has been given and there's too many players walking. Look, here's the decision that's been made. And just there, you can see it comes off Bissouma's boot. And like I said, there are certain parts where the referee would have just heard it. But this here is where it goes to pot, Rio. They've got to switch on, haven't they?
Yeah, spaced, all worrying about where people are on the pitch. Get your man, get back into your slot as soon as you can. The amount of space that Member has there to actually get up, I mean, it's a fantastic header, Crouch.
Yeah, take nothing away. I think Tottenham's completely switch off. There's more than enough men in the box, but what a header. He's always folded in two, like the power he's got on it. You almost think, go on, you could have a free head there. He's so far out, but the power he gets in it is an unbelievable finish.
I mean, them stats there, Joe, you look at that. Touches in the opponent's box, 0 for Tottenham. There's no desire to get out and play and get up against people and create pressure in the game, intensity. We called it before the game. All three of us said exactly the same thing. They will sit back and they'll wait and they'll try to soak up pressure. It'll be really difficult if they do that in this atmosphere against this team in the Champions League. And it's just played out exactly as we said before the game.
Look at the passes in the final third.
Right.
I mean, 134 to 14. There's no song on the pitch. He's gone off.
It's embarrassing.
And the maths are they must score in the second half to stay in the competition.
There's absolutely no outlet. That's the problem. You see more as having to run with the ball, running into traffic. There's no outball whatsoever. You're almost better, putting Moura or Kane further up the field so you can actually have an outball. There's nowhere to go.
I'm not seeing any characters. We were talking about keeping this crowd quiet. Who's going to get on the ball and make that happen? Tottenham fans have been watching this all year, by the way. Every first half I can think of in the Champions League, they've been absolutely shocking. And then all of a sudden they come to life and go, we need to try and score a goal. You should start the game like that.
I agree with Crouch. I think sometimes the way you set up your system and your team determines how you can play. You can ask for character and personality, but you need to be put in a position to be able to perform as well.
Yeah, how can you put... There's no way of getting out. If you're set up in that manner, you can't get out and impose yourself on any football match.
Well, they changed it quick enough, though. Harry Kane just had a shot on goal towards the end of the game. Why did he do that? It's nothing to do because them saying, oh, we should go up the pitch. They got the initiative. They need a goal.
Yeah.
So they can do it. They just need to get themselves up the pitch and do it.
The first shot on or off target for Tottenham came after the 45 minutes had passed. 52 minutes on the clock when they finally had an opportunity. And now...
Thank you.
Nice. Well, it was certainly a team performance this evening. And actually, before we go off air at 10:30 this evening, before Champions League tonight, we'll have a look at the way that Spurs operated in the first and second half and how the two compared. And, of course, there are criticisms we can lay at the way Spurs approach this evening. But one area you can't criticise this team is the mentality they've got when they're on looking like they're going to get beaten. What's the stat? They've picked up more points from losing positions in both the Champions League and the Premier League?
Yeah, definitely. And that has to come from the manager. I think that's the mentality that he's instilling in the football club right now. For all of the kind of negativity that was talked about in terms of performance against the big teams in the first half and the way they're starting, one thing that can't be questioned is that mentality, that ability to never say die and stay in games. You know you're going to come under pressure. You know you're going to have to fight at times in the game. And you know there's going to be desperate moments, but then when their opportunities are coming their way at the minute, they're finding a way. And then this is a bad pass from Guendouzi, but here again it's about Kane biding his time, picking up the loose ball, and Højbjerg, who hit the crossbar earlier in the game. This is a phenomenal strike. The defender on the next angle you see him, he actually does quite well. Hold on, this is quite interesting as well. Quite an interesting scene. Just the manager, is he asking for offside? I don't know. He's encroaching slightly, I think, there.
Like a young Tony Adams there.
So it is the defender. I think the defender, remember, was excellent all night. He actually does as much as he can in terms of pushing him away from goal.
Yeah, credit to Højbjerg, because it's the 97th minute there. He's put a real shift in, especially the second half. So to make that run forward's number one, but then to get there, as the defender's coming across, and to get that kind of strike on it so late on in the game, credit to him and fully deserved.
And look, the job for this evening was to make sure that they made it through. But to go through, actually, as group winners is really important. And we can show you, actually, the teams who have made it through. And it is significant because it means they're likely to play one of the teams on the right-hand side rather than the left-hand side. And that can make a real difference to your path from here.
Yeah, it certainly can. I mean, like, there's teams there. Listen, you will have faced many of those teams on the left. So, yeah, it's a big result. A huge goal from Højbjerg. But the frustrations are just, why can't you start like that? That's my point. There's two ways of looking at it. The character to come back from losing positions, but the quality is there to go and impose yourself right from the minute.
Yeah. I think also you understand in these type of games that there's going to be moments when you're going to be on the back foot, backs against the wall, away from home in the Champions League against any opposition in Europe. But it's the fact that you feel like they almost set out to start like that is a frustrating element.
That's why I thought that interview was really interesting, Rio, to be honest with you. I don't feel like they had the clarity to go and play on the front foot. It felt like what Clement Longley was saying was, as a team, they were a bit more kind of like protective. Let's hold on to what we've already got. But the minute they conceded the goal, as does happen at times, they just relaxed and went, you know what, let's go and play. From my point of view, like, we can see that they're better like that. Why are you not just going and doing it? You know, when you're on the front foot and playing like that, you're so much better. And you just brought up that list there of who they're going to be facing. As you go further into this competition, you won't get away with that. Yeah. You won't get a second bite in the second half to try and put your wrongs right. So they need to try and find a way to nail it down in the first half and be much more consistent over the game.
We'll have a proper tactical look at that as well after the break. But before the break, let's have a look at the equaliser, which I suppose is vital because this is the moment that Spurs were in the box seat to qualify.
Yeah, well, this set-piece coach needs a pay rise, I'll be honest, because some of the set-pieces are so important. Fantastic delivery again, and Lenglet he shows good strength, but to get the neck muscles to arch behind it right in the corner, comes off his face a little bit, but fantastic finish.
Maybe take the Man of the Match award and give it to Gianni Vio, the set-piece coach, then, eh?
Maybe. Set pieces we spoke about before the game, and it's the delivery, I think, is the most important part of it. They're putting the ball in the right dangerous areas, middle of goal. Again, that one's middle of goal, and they're getting bodies in there to cause havoc, and they got on the end of it again today.
Relieved, gentlemen?
I am, yeah, very much so. It was a much-needed result. It was all set up. And actually, in the end, I was quite thankful to an Arsenal player for missing that big chance at the end as well. So
he had to get
it was a double whammy.
He won't sleep tonight, Colossus.